Rick Barnes' career to this point is defined by the regular season. Rick Barnes to this point has one Final Four on his resume. That's not enough to be considered an elite coach. Two would be. A national championship would be. That would transfer him into a whole different level, elevate him into another level from really good to great. And then let's say that next level is elite. We know that Rick Barnes turned 70 this summer. Would he potentially retire if Tennessee made the Final Four, if Tennessee won a national championship? What say you, Caleb Calhoun?
Would Rick Barnes retire if Tennessee won a national championship? That is an interesting question. If they just make a Final Four, I am heck no. A resounding heck no. And I don't think he retires if they win a national championship either. I said this about Rick Barnes for a long time, and I think it's a testament to his character. I think it's a testament to the type of man that he is, because I think, honestly, Dave, I don't think you can have a better person coaching you than Rick Barnes. I don't know if you agree with me on that, but I think in terms of character, he's one of the top 5 character coaches in all of college sports. Rick Barnes is. And I mean, it's like him, Mark Richt, David Cutcliffe are my top 3. I think Rick Barnes is in this because he likes coaching and developing players. I think he genuinely loves developing players for their future. I think that's the whole reason he's in this. And he's, by the way, in the past, he's sacrificed potentially being a championship team because of his principles and what he believes is important to develop players for whatever they're going to be after they leave. I think a guy like that is so devout, deep with his faith, I think he's going to be doing this for as long as he can.
Okay. We'll play the other side of it. I think you have to look at this. There are a lot of different ways. You mentioned his faith. There are a lot of different ways that he could potentially get back and do things, whether or not you like what Nick Saban is doing and how he's doing it. Rick Barnes would be received in a similar regard as David Cutcliffe, who wanted to work for the SEC. So he would have those options to be around basketball. I don't know what's in his heart of hearts, and I don't think he's necessarily going to tell us right off the bat, but I'll go ahead and tell you right now, if I'm Rick Barnes, there is no question in my mind that I'm retiring if I win a championship. I want to be remembered like that. I want to be remembered like John Elway. So what's going on in his mind, I'm not sure, but I'm telling you, I would walk off into the sunset.
But Rick Barnes isn't doing this for some legacy. That's what I mean. Rick Barnes, I mean, I again, whatever you guys think religiously, I'm not here to lecture anybody, but the only legacy Rick Barnes cares about is like when he's standing at the pearly gates and he's judged on what he did for people in his life. I mean,
and St. Peter will be there for him just as they are on Thursday night.
St. Peter's will be there for him. That is the absolute truth. And I believe Rick Barnes, see, that's where there's a big difference between Barnes and Saban. Look, I actually do believe, Dave, that Saban was in it for developing players, but come on, Saban wanted to win. Saban wanted to leave a legacy in college football. I don't think Rick Barnes cares what his legacy is or what's written about him. Rick Barnes only cares what his creator says about him. He only cares about what his maker says about him when he meets his maker. I mean, he's that type of person. And I think Rick Barnes now he's accepted a handsome salary to do this. Okay. But so it's not like he's doing this for free, but I do believe that Rick Barnes thinks he was put on this earth to help develop potential basketball players into good people. And I mean, yes, he did fail with Tristan Thompson. Y'all can read about what Tristan has done to Khloe Kardashian over the years. It's been really, really awful. But
really, that's quite a left turn. But yeah, you do have to remember this. You have to remember this. He flirted with UCLA pretty strongly, so it's not like he has a tie. It's not like Philip Fulmer. I think Philip Fulmer would have been happy just kind of riding off into not a sunset, but a cloudy sort of day and getting General Neyland's record of all-time wins. I don't think Rick Barnes wants to go out like that. I think a championship would change everything. He hasn't given us much insight but it'd have to be huge. I don't foresee him moving somewhere else, but if he does, he needs to call Boundless Moving. From their 2-hour minimum to turnkey operations, they've got you covered. Their motto, personal service without limits, not just a tagline. It's part of who they are in their DNA. Google Boundless Moving if you're in the Carolinas or East Tennessee. They are fantastic. Boundless Moving, tell them Off the Hook Sports sent you. It would change the way he is viewed tremendously to make 2 Final Fours. Let's say that in and of itself. So I ask you on the poll question on our YouTube page, please go ahead and vote on that. It's pretty simple. And I think I know where Caleb stands. If I'm Rick Barnes and I win a natty, I'm just fired up, retiring on a high note, completely 50-50, which is our goal each and every day on our poll question. I think there's arguments to be made on both sides. Now, if he just makes the Final Four, let's tweak this a little bit. That's 2 Final Fours. That, again, elevates you to another level. You're not a lucky made it guy, and then your career was just okay. So if it's 2 Final Fours, not a natty, you are viewed different. Are you considering retirement if you're Rick Barnes? Is that enough for your legacy?
No. And that's a resounding no, because I'm saying what I think Rick Barnes is. But even if he's not that, even if he's what you say he is, Dave, you don't just retire with the Final Four and no natty. You go for the jugular. You go for the natty still. You start to think, I just got a Final Four. I think I'm knocking on the door. I think I can get that natty. That's what you do. So I think, no, he's not retiring if he just goes to the Final Four. That's crazy talk.
How crazy that is. That's completely crazy or not.